All right, what's going on, you guys? Semen del Piso back again with another video. So we haven't done a video in a really long time, and I do apologize. The thing is that I started to get into the very, very whimsical and entertaining facet of YouTube, which is doing live streams. So I've been doing a couple live streams. I've done 5 so far, and we've been doing really, really well. We've gotten way more subscribers through those live streams in the past 5 times than we've gained subscribers in the past 2 weeks. So that's not to say I'm going to keep doing live streams in the frequency that I just started doing them, but we are going to do some live streams. Don't get me wrong, we're going to keep doing a couple more. It's going to be really, really fun. I even made a stream layout and everything. It's been great. We also received donations. Like that's still crazy to me, because sometimes I just feel that I just speak and I just think that my words are just sort of lost in the nexus that is the internet and just life. But it just seems like my words really affect people, and it's really nice to just see donations as well. It's like, you know, people are willing to pay to perpetuate my existence online. So this is great. This is great. By any means, you know, the donations weren't like crazy sizable, but they meant so much to me, man. It's actually unreal. So yeah, please tune in to subscribe if you want to, you know, see more of those live streams, or just be made aware when those live streams are going to start. Also, I've made a Discord server. It's called La Liga de Sombras, right? So I'm going to leave the link in the description below, but please join the Discord, you know, just so you can have a bit more connection with the community that I have sort of gathered under my name. And just to discuss anything. You guys get to talk about anything, as long as it's, you know, PG-13, you know what I mean? No perverse stuff. Obviously, it's antithetical to practice. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're going to talk about semen retention yet again. This time we're going to talk about a dark side of semen retention, another facet of the multi-layered experience that is the semen retention practice. Of course, in the depths, in the shadowy side of the practice. So what we're going to talk about today is the dark side of semen retention and the separation from the collective unconscious. Now, I know you guys are like thinking, Semen del Piso, this guy just talks about, he really just goes on camera and he just thinks about something. He has like a little roulette in his head, spins it, and then he just puts the sentences from the words gathered from the roulette together and just serves it to you guys on a platter. No, that's not the case. Guys, I really live this semen retention practice life. I've been on this practice for a couple months. I just don't know. I stopped counting at this point. First, we have to sort of discuss what exactly is the collective unconscious, right? Is that something that Semen del Piso made up in order to sound interesting and eloquent and grandiloquent to the viewers? Absolutely not, right? These ideas they predate me. They predate not the practice of semen retention, but somewhat. So the collective unconscious, it comes from a psychologist, Carl Jung. I don't know if you guys know about this guy. A lot of what he wrote about forms the tenets of psychology, modern psychology, right? This guy has a book called The Red Book. I'm gonna read the rest of that book. I read some of it, I didn't read all of it. But essentially this psychologist is responsible for the ideas of the persona, right? The idea that we all have these selves that we show other people that that aren't necessarily ourselves. And some of the aspects that make up our individual personas are based on what we believe that people like to see and would react to in a positive way. Carl, our man, Miss Dr. Jung, we gotta say doctor, he studied a lot in school, studied an extra couple years, so we gotta call him doctor. He brought in the idea of the ancient archetypes, like that our brain connects to all the time. The wise old man, the mother, the you know, just the ascetic, the fool. Carl Jung describes all of this stuff in the book, and he talks about these archetypes as personality traits that our brains will always connect certain aspects of other individuals to. What we're going to hone in today, right? We're going to hone in on the idea of the collective unconscious. Now, this is a very, very powerful idea that he brings up. The collective unconscious is a sum, an accumulation of colors, symbols, ideas, like the essential, the source material of all these things that we all contain in all of our subconsciouses, all people around the world, and we connect it to certain things that we see, certain things that we hear, and we automatically think about it in the same way, in a very, very visceral way, ways that are very unconscious, unknown to us. It seems like from the way that I describe this, why would you even try to separate yourself from the collective unconscious? Is that even possible? Is it conducive to your personal equilibrium, mental equilibrium, and sanity to separate yourself from the collective unconscious? I'm gonna say this: we need to understand the basis of this, and we have to understand if the knowledge of these symbols that influence our subconsciouses, our unconsciouses, our subconscious, right, in a very reflexive way, how that could be used to our detriment, right? And why being on this practice is incredibly great in order to separate yourself from this in the most effective and efficient and the quickest way possible. Imagine, right, there's the idea of the blue bear. When we see something that resembles this blue bear, this is just an arbitrary example, not necessarily, something that actually exists, right? But the blue bear is known, the color of blue, obviously it's like some sort of calm, soothing color, juxtaposed with that image of a bear, which means aggression, violence, tenacity to perpetuate violence imposed by that figure, the bear. That is the symbol. Now, for individuals that are speaking in conversation, there are words that unconsciously affect parts of our brain that reflexively invoke certain images, and with those images come those feelings and emotions. So with that arbitrary hypothetical image that I gave you guys, that blue bear, the proverbial blue bear, we will have a conversation, or we'll see some blue blob that resembles that bear, and our brain is automatically going to bring forth an emotion, right, of just nameless dread. Oh my, a bear? Oh no, it's just another Blue's Clues season, right? And that's just a dog, right? That's just a dog, Blue. Obviously, there are other symbols in that will be in that library of symbols that the subconscious will hold, and that will equally invoke these emotions, right? These responses, reflexive responses. Now, we're gonna go on to the next thing. What does semen retention even have to do with that, right? I'm gonna tell you, obviously, thank you. When you are on this practice of semen retention, you are becoming more bound with, like I said, if you watch the health and semen retention, the nervous system video, you are becoming more in control of your reflexive responses, your synapses. Even though the collective unconscious respond to symbols that are completely ancient, right? They are contained within something. They are not just some idea that exists, isolate of the things that invoke that idea, like the synapses, like neurons. When you are on this practice of semen retention, you're becoming more and more in control of your brain. You're becoming more control of the invocation of memory. And as a result, you are able to understand what you are looking at, feel that nameless dread, and ponder and think of why you are feeling that dread. You are able to entertain those ideas. You are able to dig deep into the archetypes, those primordial, ancient, antiquated archetypes, and challenge them. You are able to control your behavior. You're able to separate yourself from being the object, the target of manipulation on a grand scale. Understand that the collective unconscious can be accessed whenever, and especially in a very dangerous fashion, by individuals that are masters of this knowledge. Say, for instance, right, that knowledge are in the hands of, say, marketers, right, that want to invoke a certain experience, or say news reporters, anchormen that want to deliver a reflexive response. No, you can pass, it's fine. No, it's fine. I can just edit it out. There's a news source that wants to elicit a certain response from you, right? But we're gonna have another arbitrary example. Police officers that have entered a place illegally and then sort of apprehended alleged suspects illegally as well. And then there were symbols that surrounded this story that are not necessarily the focal point of the story, right? But they are sort of exuding this meaning to you on a very visceral level because those symbols are placed there. Every time you'll see police officers that aren't necessarily the cause of that emotional response that you had to the initial story with the symbols, every time you see those police officers in a subsequent or the next story, right, you are going to have that specific response. This can go for any sort of advertisement, any sort of idea that is trying to be proliferated. So whether it's to respond kindly or in a very suave way to new perfumes or a new pair of pants. Perhaps we need to start accepting that credit card debt is a very, very fancy way to live our lives, right? When these symbols and just these sequence of words that affect us in a very visceral way are arranged and sequenced in those commercials, in those ideas, that propaganda, you will get affected. When you are on this practice of semen retention, you are able to understand the entire picture. You're able to look at the disparate elements and come to your conclusion. You see, the collective unconscious also is a frequency that exists solely in this planet, solely here. All the ideas that are being invoked upon, right, and reflexively responded to in an emotional, visceral way, are all mutations of the natural, the color blue. We see blue here because, remember, it's part of the 7 colors that exist in this plane. All of those symbols are all mutations and variations and combinations of things that are here. When you are on this practice of semen retention, you are, remember, not only you are traveling to a different frequency, because that's what you're doing. The idea of semen retention is to retain your energy, and then you are now maintaining a frequency that is not of here. You're maintaining a higher frequency. So you are tapping into an unconscious on the higher frequency, which are an amalgamation of different ideas than the collective unconscious here. Different symbols, different ideas that now you are not only, remember, it takes time to acclimate to this new frequency, which is why I stress the idea of staying on the practice of semen retention for a very long period of time, despite all the distractions that you'll feel in this plane, in this dimension. When you are in that higher frequency, when you are maintaining it, you are taking in and being conditioned by the collective unconscious of that. That's what explains the dreams that you guys have. You have strange dreams that are seemingly meaningless and don't have any connection to your personal lives. That's because you are capturing a higher frequency. And in that higher frequency, like I said, lies that collective unconscious of that higher frequency. And the ideas and symbols are being downloaded into your brain that are slowly making its way and infiltrating your life in a metaphysical way, in a spiritual way, and a physical way. And your life is changing very, very slowly. This is why I stress being on the practice for a very long time will have no choice but to morph you. Essentially, the long, the tall, the short of this video is this. Stay on the practice of semen retention to separate yourself from the collective unconscious in this realm, in this dimension. Remember, ultimately, this collective unconscious here serves to only keep you here. So the symbols, the archetypes are only here to have you reflexively respond to the stuff here, to keep you here, to keep you grounded. When you're on that practice of semen retention, you are capturing the higher frequency, which means that you are going into the collective unconscious up there. And whatever the ideas, symbols, archetypes, even beings, right, that exist on that frequency, they are being channeled through you. They are coming into you. Pause. Hey, yo. It will slowly give you ideas and images to unconsciously, remember, to implement that subconscious printing onto your reality when you're on this practice. It is slowly reprogramming your subconscious in order to create your life based on the higher frequency that you have captured due to the practice. Read about Carl Jung. He is a genius. He is a very smart man. The idea is use his teachings to create a better life for you, to ascend. And that is all I have to say to you guys today. If you liked anything that I said, if you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, dislike and comment anyway. Don't subscribe. If you want to subscribe just to continuously comment on my videos, that's great too. That's a victory. Also, like I said in the beginning of the video, we do have a Discord server. It is called La Liga de Sombras, right? The League of Shadows, right? So in this Discord server, you're gonna get direct updates to my future live streams, videos, And then you could, of course, talk with the other people that have joined the server. It's just to foster communication, just maybe group critique of the videos. Maybe this idea of the higher realm collective unconscious is complete bollocks, and you guys want to talk about it. Join the Discord server. The description is going to be, well, the server link is going to be in the description below. So like I said, stay radiant. Don't ever let this place get you down. It is just seriously just another, it's a lower frequency. It is nothing. This is all nothing. This nothing, it all makes sense here, but it's all nothing. It means nothing. It does nothing for your soul. Raise to a higher frequency, discard the collective unconscious and the symbols and the reflective responses thereof, and gain control of your life that you are shaping in order to create a bridge to your next life, your next existence, where it's going to be full and beset with its own problems and another frequency to rise above. Hopefully not. Don't let this world get you down. Stay radiant. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wow.